why don't we talk a little bit about Ronnie Lyles? Let's talk a little bit about you and some of the possibilities that existed for you as the vagabond drag racer back in the day.
Well, we were there right at the end of 71, 72, somewhere along in that area, and the phone rang at the shop, and Betty called me to the phone, and it was Lyles on the phone about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, on a Friday afternoon. And he said, Herb, I want you to fly out to New York tonight and drive my car. And he had a 68 car he bought from Buddy and Ronnie, and it's a good car. I knew it was a good car. And I said, well, where are we racing? He said, over here on 6th Street. I said, what? He said, yeah, we got a big street race tonight. And he said, I want you to come up and drive the car. I said, no. He said, why not? I said, well, if I win, your enemies will kill me, and if I lose, your friends will kill me. I said, I ain't coming up there on Friday night and drive a car on the streets of New York City. But they'd block the streets off and race up there just like it was nothing, didn't think anything about it. But crazy things like that happened a lot. Ronald was a good guy. I drove his car a couple times when we was building a new car, and I didn't have a car, and we'd borrow his car to run the match races with. I drove it several times in match race situations. Ronald was a good guy.
When he first got a race car from us, he was out. Ronnie went with him to the track to run the car a little bit and get familiar with it. And he wasn't doing everything just right. And Ronnie went up to him and said, Ron, what's going on? He said, Mr. Ronnie, there's a lot of confusion in that cockpit.
But Ronnie was a big part of that USRT deal. I mean, let's talk a little bit about what he added to that whole thing.
Well, I mean, I think he added a lot just as a human being, and the fact that he was right in line with what wanted done and needed to be done and that kind of thing. You didn't have, any problems or whatever. And I think it brought more African Americans to drag racing that may not have come there otherwise. So he was definitely a good guy.
Eugene Cord had said to me that was really a highlight of their whole racing time, was being able to be on that deal with all these, frankly, these big name guys.
Right.
And and they would show up and they were treated by everybody well. He said
Right.
they never had a problem at any of the tracks.
He was good.
Never had any
Good
problem with any racial issues. There was no malarkey that went on.
Right.
And he
because
had
of
a
who they
following
were.
of people out of
Yes,
the
he
New York
did.
area up there.
Yeah.
He sure did.
Yeah, they were big on street racing in New York around that time, and they'd have some heck of a races and a lot of money changed hands. That we've seen many brown bags come to the shop, but
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, they do some serious betting up there at Englishtown, Atco, and those places. I know Ronald told me the night that I beat Jenkins in the final at Englishtown at that USRT race up there that he knew of $6,000 that changed hands that night that he knew of.
Right.
Wasn't counting what he didn't know of.